Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king!
Bernardo?
He.
You must most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I'm sick at heart.
Have you had quiet, God?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them.
Stand ho! Who's that?
Friends to this and liegemen to the Dane.
Liegeman.
Give you good night.
Liegeman?
Marcellus, oh farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo has my place. Give you good night.
Holla, Bernardo.
Say, what? Is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if the apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, tush, 'twill not appear. Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears. There are so fortified against our story what we have seen, or what 2 knights have seen.
Well, sit we down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made its course to illume that part of heaven. Where now burns Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Peace. Break thee off. Look where it comes again.
In the same figure, like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Look, it's not like the king. Mark it, Horatio.
Most like, it horrors me to fear wonder.
He spoke to.
Question it, Horatio.
What art thou that erst a person? Together with that fair and more like form, in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march. By heaven, I charge thee, speak.
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Oh, say, speak, I charge thee, speak.
'Tis gone and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on't?
Before my God, I might not disbelieve without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself, such was the very armor he had on. When he the ambitious Norway combated, so frowned he once, when, in an angry quarrel, he smote the sledded Pollux on the ice. 'Tis strange.
Thus, twice before, and jumped at this dead hour, with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch.
In what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Good now, sit down and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daisy cast of brazen cannon and foreign mart for implements of war, why such impress of shipwrights whose sore task does not divide the Sunday from the week. What might be toward that this sweatly haste doth make the night joint labor with the day. Who isn't that can inform me?
That can I, at least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway. There too, pricked on by most pride, dared to the combat in which her valiant Hamlet, for so this side of her own world esteemed him, did slay this Fortinbras, who by a sealed compact, while ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with his life all those his lands which he stood to seize of. to the conqueror, against which a moiety competent was Gageburg, which had retained to the inheritance of Fortinbras, had he been vanquisher, as by the same covenant, a carriage of the article designed, is fell to Hamlet. Now, sir, young Fortinbras, of unimproved metal hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there, sharked up a list of lawless resolutes, for food and diet to some enterprise that hath a stomach end, which is no other, as it doth well appear unto our state, but to recover of us, by strong hand and terms compulsory, those foresaid lands so by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations. The source of this, our watch, and the chief head of this post-haste and roamage in the land.
I think it be no other but e'en so. Well may it sort that this pretentious figure comes armed through our watch, so like the king that was, and is the question of these wars.
A mote it is to trouble the mind's eye. In the most high and palmy state of Rome, a little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the grave stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets, as stars with trains of fire and dews of blood. Disasters in the sun and the moist star upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse. And even the like precurse of fierce events as harbingers preceding still the face and prologue to the omen coming on, have heaven and earth together just demonstrated unto our climatures and countrymen. But soft, behold, lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it, though it blast me. Stay, illusion, if thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done, that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, oh, speak! Or if thou hast uphoarded in thy life extorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which, they say, your spirits oft walk in death, speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus.
Shall I strike it with my Paris staff?
Do, if it will not stand.
'Tis here! 'Tis here! 'Tis gone! We do it wrong, being so majestical, to offer it the show of violence, for it is, as the air, invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak,
When the cock crew.
and then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock, that is the trumpet. Father Disartian, Jules Anecdote, awake the good of the day, and his warning. Whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and earth spirit has his confined, and of the truth herein this present object made probation.
It faded on the crowning of the cock. Some say.
Oh my God.
Some say that ever against that season comes, wherein our Savior birth is celebrated, the bird of dawning strength all night long. And then they say no spirit dares stir abroad. The nights are wholesome. Then no planets strike, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm. So hallowed and so gracious is the time.
So have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for upon my life, the spirit sometimes will speak to him. Do you consent? We shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our lives, fitting our duty.
Let's do it. I pray. And I this